This is The Post Up with DJ Trice. I'm running my mouth on everything hot in sports, news, drama, and whatever is blowing up the timeline. Let's get into it. What's going on, y'all? You already know me as DJ Trice here for another episode of The Post Up, and I have some breaking news for you, y'all. The New York Liberty's head coach, Sandy Brondello, was just let go from the team. Being the reigning champ, the next champion hasn't even been crowned yet. The playoffs are still in the semifinals, and the New York Liberty have let a championship-winning coach go. I have so much to say about this, and I'm sure you are tapped in here to hear how crazy I'm about to go because this is insane. The New York Liberty's performance wasn't even that bad, y'all. They made it to the playoffs, were eliminated preemptively, but their team was injured for most of it, and Stewie was honestly nursing the MCL injury during the game. So how does this equate to a coaching change, okay? And I'm going to just let y'all know my feelings straight off the top before I get into how this is unjustified. I think that now that women's sports are becoming more popular, the WNBA is becoming more popular, is getting all these millions of views on ESPN and everything, the men are here to colonize. The men are here to colonize. I am so tired of seeing coaches fired and replaced by men. The jig is up, okay? There's no cross-pollination. There's no women head coaches in the NBA. Zero. Goose egg. So I think that it's time for us to reclaim our league. Since there are no opportunities for us in the men's league, why don't we coach where we're most qualified? And that's the argument that I'm seeing on the TikTok and in all my comments here is that why do you keep saying hire a woman? You should say hire the most qualified person. No, because women don't get to show up and have the same opportunities in male spaces. If that were true, then I could sit here and tell you, we should hire the most qualified person. In my honesty, though, the most qualified person to coach women's basketball would be a woman who played women's basketball, y'all. I don't care what your coaching accolades are. If you played in the league, you can coach in the league. No man has played in the WNBA. Yet here they are always being the head coaches. So I'm not trying to rage bait or nothing with this. I've just had enough. Noelle Quinn was just fired from the Seattle Storm. They were having a rough time at it. We knew the team and the front office was going to move on. We, the people, request that you replace her with another woman of any race, a woman. Preferably someone who has played the game to continue to employ these women who have invested their whole lives on building the league. Lisa Leslie, Teresa Weatherspoon, we want to see our legends coach. Y'all get to see y'all legends coach, and not all coaches have to be player coaches. No, in no way, shape, or form am I saying that. I'm just saying that the women who help get this league to the level that it's at deserve a seat at the table for employment and for equal stake. Now, let's go through some of these coaches that have been hired in the WNBA so you can see that I'm not just ranting and there is a trend that's happening here, okay? Atlanta Dream, they let go of Tanisha Wright. Tanisha Wright is now an assistant coach over at the Chicago Sky under Tyler Marsh. So she still has a coaching job. She's just an assistant. Carl Smesko did a great job. The girls made the playoffs, but still underperformed. Why didn't they replace them, that coach, with another lady? Okay, Smesko was a good coach. I'm not saying he's not a good coach again. My battle here isn't with men. My battle here is with the lack of access that women have in the men's league and the reciprocity that they decide that they should have here is my biggest battle. Okay? So that's the Atlanta Dream. Chicago Sky hired Tyler Marsh. They had a terrible season. He wasn't fired. They said terrible season. Terrible. And it's his first year, so I don't think he should be fired just off the top of a first year. Nobody thinks that, right? But okay, that's another man. Connecticut Sun, Rashid Mazin. They brought an international man coach. Okay? Dallas Wings, Chris K. Love Chris K. He was the assistant coach at the LA Sparks. Again, hired by Kurt Miller. Another one of the men in women's basketball who have been coaching, who I respect. Time's up. A lady needs to be at that job. A lady was fired. A man was hired. Okay? Moving on to the Golden State Valkyries. They hired Natalie Nakase. She won Coach of the Year. Imagine. Hired that lady and she got Coach of the Year. Stephanie White, she moved from the Connecticut Sun over to the Indiana Fever. Lynn Roberts moved from college over to pros to coach her first year with the LA Sparks. Washington Mystics, Sidney Johnson. Love that a black man was hired there. But again, here we are with a man. It was a man before that, a man GM and his man son. Okay. Man. Becky Hammond leads the Aces, has coached up several assistant coaches who are men. So she is, again, matriculating, and we're giving equal opportunity here. The women are playing nice. The men aren't. Cheryl Reeve over Minnesota Lynx, got a lady there. Assistant coach, Lindsay Whalen, legend. Imagine a player coach. That team is doing well. A person who played that game is on their coaching staff. New York Liberty now doesn't have Sandy Brondello. Phoenix Mercury just hired Nate Tibbetts, another man. And the Seattle Storm moved on from Noel Quinn. So in summary, y'all, I've talked loud. I've done all the things. I've given you some facts. But Sandy Brondello led the New York Liberty to a franchise first, a championship last year. Franchise first. The New York Liberty failed to win back-to-back championships, which is hard to do, right? We haven't seen it since the Comets, the Aces. Back-to-back championships are hard to do. She fell a little short. Really wasn't her. It was really that her team was hurt. Without Benijah Laney the entire season. Kayla Thornton, they didn't even protect her, went over to the Valkyries. Two key players who helped them to win that championship were not a part of the team for the entire year. So it's not like you ran it back with the same squad and it didn't work. Let me give you some of Sandy Brondello's resume, just so you put some respect on her name. Okay, she's an Aussie. There's a lot of good women's basketball that happens in Australia. A lot of players play there overseas because they are in the off season, and really great team, the Opals, their national team. She played 302 games. One of the most capped players. Okay. Participated in 4 Olympic Games as a player, winning 2 silver medals and 1 as a bronze. So you fired, let's keep going. I'm sorry. I'm getting sidetracked. Please follow my logic. Thanks for y'all who listen in the audio and in your car and can just listen to your homegirl vent about this because it's insane. She also played in 4 world championships and World Cups in Australia, won multiple medals, including bronzes. Here in the United States, she played, she was the WNBA MVP in 1995. Sorry about that. That's international. She was MVP for that one. And in Germany, she played and won 10 German championships. 10 German championships. Then she played for the Detroit Shock from 98 to 99, Miami Soul from 2001 to 2002, Seattle Storm in 2003, among others. And she was selected in the 1998 draft as the 4th round, 34th overall pick. Okay, she played for the Detroit Shock and the Miami Soul, which are 2 franchises that are no longer with the WNBA. For those of y'all who are new here, but as in her coaching career, she was the assistant coach for the San Antonio Silver Stars. That was 4 years, and she was head coach in 2010, assistant coach of the Sparks from 2011, 2013. Okay, that I didn't know. Brondello was a Spark? Okay, I should probably ease back a little bit on that. Okay, then she was head coach of the Phoenix Mercury from 14 to 2021, head coach of the Australian national team from 17 to present, and then head coach of the New York Liberty until today. Her overall WNBA record as coach, has been 244 to 164. She's over 500 as of her time with the New York Liberty. And in just 4 seasons was 107 and 53. So I don't understand how a coach who is inducted into the Australian Basketball Hall of Fame, who was WNBA Coach of the Year in 2014, who has won 2 WNBA championships, 2014 with the Phoenix Mercury, 2024 with the New York Liberty, and is the WNBA All-Star coach in most recent years. How does she get let go for not doing a back-to-back? Maybe I'm ranting too early, and I'm going to find out that one of these other teams who let somebody go is going to hire her. Maybe she's going to Seattle. Hey, maybe she's going to Seattle. But if Sandy Brondello don't have a job, and we continue to see an onslaught of men hired in all of these spaces, you're going to be annoyed with me because y'all didn't care about the overwhelming majority of the men in my comments say nobody watches the WNBA. We don't care. They ain't making no money. The league is unprofitable and everything. Why do we get colonized then? Why women can't coach women? I don't understand how you ever could believe that a person who's never played the game, after you admit that the men's and women's product is so different, how does a man coach who played in a men's league ever be more qualified than a woman who has actually played in the game? I would give her the shot over him the shot. But see, y'all don't want to see this disparity there, because the Lakers have an assistant coach. Women are finally starting to matriculate into the NBA. Dawn Staley admitted that she applied for the Knicks head coaching position. She wasn't hired. So Dawn Staley is one of the best women's basketball coaches of all time. Arguably the GOAT. You didn't hire Dawn. So all of these people we have never even heard of should not qualify. If I would shut up, I wouldn't even got on this microphone and turned on this camera to talk to you if you had hired Dawn Staley. But enough is enough. At some point, women have to start speaking out about the colonization in our sport. We don't want to see it. And I'm not saying these dudes aren't great coaches. You can work in player development. I'm not rooting for unemployment. Either let some women into the NBA or cut it out over here. And I think that's more than fair. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. That was my Hot Take Tuesday. And you know what? I might just make this a thing. My Tuesdays, I got a lot of free time to be noodling all of the crazy stuff that's happening out here in the sports world. And today, I had just had enough. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of The Post Up. I go by the name of DJ Trice. You can always tap in with me on social media at DJ Trice. That's at DJ TRICEY. Thanks for listening. And Audio Revolt Nation is showing up, y'all. I see the numbers. Y'all going crazy. So share this podcast with a friend who loves the WNBA, maybe a New York Liberty fan, and then, just had enough. Enough is enough. But I'll talk to y'all later on this week. I'm going to do one more episode before my birthday, which is September 29th. I'll be at the Raiders game on the 28th. It's going to be lit. So I'll do one more podcast episode before I go on vacation. But thanks for tapping in with me, and I'll talk to y'all next time. All right, that's a wrap on The Post Up. I ran my mouth, said what I said, and now it's your turn. Drop a comment, share it, and come back tomorrow, because I'm not done talking. And make sure you follow me on social media at DJ Trice. That's at DJ TRICEY. I'll be posted up here, y'all.